With Super Saiyan 3 being the talk of the town right now, with Vegeta finally achieving this form in Dragon Ball Daima, we have to discuss the next form after this. Now, sadly, it's not Super Saiyan 4, which is my by all means favorite form of all time. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And if it does, man, that'll be really amazing. But the next form after 3 is Super Saiyan God, the one with red hair. So let's discuss the differences between these two forms and really which one would defeat the other. And you might say, oh, God, because it's the next form. But let's actually really discuss this in detail. You might be surprised. Both are very huge transformations, one born from divine ritual and the other from pushing mortal limits to their breaking point. To understand the clash between these two transformations, we need to go back to their origins. Super Saiyan 3 was first unveiled by Goku during the Majin Buu saga, marking the culmination of mortal Saiyan strength by tapping into the deepest recesses of Saiyan potential. Goku pushed his body far beyond Super Saiyan 2, achieving an exponential increase in power. However, this form comes with a catastrophic flaw. It is horrendously energy draining, to the point of being unsustainable in prolonged combat, especially in the living world. It's pretty much the only reason that Goku doesn't use this form, but if he was able to, if he had actually mastered its energy-draining issues, this could actually be the most powerful Saiyan form in existence. You know, except for 4, of course. We know its signature features the wild flowing golden hair, a very fierce golden aura with crackling electricity, and of course the notable absence of eyebrows, giving Goku and Vegeta a very primal appearance. While it granted Goku devastating techniques such as the Dragon Fist and the Super Kamehameha, its rapid energy consumption significantly limited its usability. In contrast, Super Saiyan God was introduced in Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, and unlike Super Saiyan J3, it wasn't achieved through sheer physical training. Instead, it required a Saiyan ritual, where 5 righteous Saiyans poured their energy into one worthy individual. The result was a transformation characterized by a leaner build, fiery red hair, and a tranquil crimson aura. While Super Saiyan 3 represents untamed mortal strength, Super Saiyan God symbolizes divine energy control, unmatched speed, and exceptional reflexes. Yet, this form wasn't perfect either. It also had a flaw. Initially proved difficult to maintain due to the overwhelming demands of God ki control on a mortal, it really does rival the issues with Super Saiyan 3, which represents mortal determination and unfiltered brute strength, while Super Saiyan God symbolizes refined divine power and efficiency. When it comes to energy efficiency, the differences between these two forms become even more apparent. Super Saiyan 3, despite its incredible power, is a ticking time bomb. They can only use it for so long. The transformation drains energy at such an alarming rate that even Goku struggled to maintain it during his battle with Kid Buu. Despite being one of the most powerful transformations in Dragon Ball Z, its practicality in long-term fights is severely limited. Even in the other world, where stamina concerns are mitigated, Super Saiyan 3's rapid energy burn remains a glaring weakness. It's a transformation that shines in short, high-impact bursts but quickly loses effectiveness in prolonged combat scenarios. On the other hand, Super Saiyan God excels in energy efficiency. Despite operating on a divine power scale, it consumes far less energy than Super Saiyan 3. During his fight with Beerus, Goku was able to maintain the form for an extended period, adapting to the flow of battle without suffering the same energy toll that crippled Super Saiyan 3. This allowed him to fight more strategically and with far more endurance. If energy sustainability were the deciding factor in a fight, Super Saiyan God, of course, would win without question. It's a form built for extended engagements, maintaining power and precision, where Super Saiyan 3 would falter. While energy efficiency is crucial, raw power cannot be ignored. Super Saiyan 3 is a powerhouse transformation, one that shook the earth itself when Goku first unveiled it against Majin Buu. The sheer weight of Super Saiyan 3's energy output was enough to shake planets, and techniques like the Dragon Fist have delivered some of the most destructive moments in Dragon Ball Z. For short bursts of raw, destructive power, Super Saiyan 3 is nearly unparalleled. It's a transformation that embodies brute force and explosive combat. The culmination of Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2, and much more. However, we have to be real. Super Saiyan God operates on an entirely different tier of power, one that transcends traditional mortal limitations, and this is also why it's so difficult to have this form being enacted as a mortal, unless you get used to it. While Super Saiyan God might not appear as outwardly destructive as Super Saiyan 3, and, well, subjectively speaking, it might not look as cool, the feats associated with it speak volumes. During Goku's battle with Beerus, their clashes generated shockwaves so intense they threatened to destroy the entire universe. This level of power operates on a cosmic scale, far beyond anything Super Saiyan 3 has ever achieved. While Super Saiyan 3 dominates in raw destructive bursts, Super Saiyan God's power is refined, universal, and far more significant in its scope. It is, after all, divine. When examining which transformation had the most profound impact on the Dragon Ball series, both forms carry significant weight in their respective arcs. Super Saiyan 3 marked the peak of mortal strength in Dragon Ball Z. It gave us iconic moments like Goku's transformation against Buu and his final battle against Kid Buu. It became a symbol of Saiyan perseverance and raw determination. However, its long-term influence was limited by its impracticality, and we've only really seen it a few times in Dragon Ball Z and Super. On the other hand, Super Saiyan God redefined the power ceiling of the Dragon Ball universe. It allowed us to kind of go beyond what's possible for a Super Saiyan, and even a mortal. And it kind of harkens back to what Goku said, and to even go beyond. Its introduction didn't just bring a new transformation, it introduced the concept of God Ki, a form of energy that transcends everything we had seen in Dragon Ball Z and kind of just makes it obsolete. And then beyond that, of course, we now have Mastered Ultra Instinct, if you've been following the manga, and then Ultra Ego. And beyond that, I don't even know what they're going to do. This laid the groundwork for future transformations like Super Saiyan Blue and Ultra Instinct. In terms of narrative and lore significance, Super Saiyan God changed the game permanently. So which form wins? All right, we've kind of dissected each form, given them their glazing, and now we have to come to a bit of a conclusion. In the grand clash between Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God, the victor becomes clear. While Super Saiyan 3 represents raw, explosive power, Super Saiyan God embodies so much more: refined strength, divine energy control, and universal impact. Super Saiyan 3 might win in very specific scenarios, especially looking badass, like short, high-intensity bursts of environments where energy drain isn't a factor, but in almost every other context, Super Saiyan God stands as the superior transformation. It's not just about raw strength, it's about how effectively that strength is used. And Super Saiyan God doesn't just overpower its opponents, it outlasts them, outpaces them, and operates on a level that transcends mortal power. But as always in Dragon Ball, power isn't everything. Strategy, emotion, and circumstance can turn the tide of any battle. So what do you think? Does Super Saiyan 3 still have a chance against Super Saiyan God in the right scenarios? I mean, at first glance, it kind of seems like Super Saiyan God is the clear victor in almost every category. It's more energy efficient, it operates on a divine power scale, and grants Goku abilities far beyond what Super Saiyan 3 could achieve. After all, it comes after Super Saiyan 3, meaning Goku has ascended. There are a few realistic scenarios that I have that Super Saiyan 3 could potentially come out on top. Very unlikely, but there are a few timing, environmental, and conditional moments that could make it the victor. Now, one of these scenarios could be a short, explosive battle. Super Saiyan 3's biggest strength lies in its immediate raw power output. It's a transformation built for raw destruction, and if the fight concludes before its energy-draining weakness takes hold, Super Saiyan 3 has a fighting chance. If a user like Goku or Vegeta unleashed devastating attacks, such as the Dragon Fist or a fully charged Super Kamehameha, before a Super Saiyan God opponent could adapt, victory would be possible. Another advantage Super Saiyan 3 could exploit comes from favorable battlefield conditions. In environments where energy consumption isn't a concern, such as the other world, Super Saiyan 3 can shine without its biggest drawback holding it back. During the Majin Buu saga, Goku was able to wield Super Saiyan 3 far more effectively in the afterlife compared to the mortal world, where stamina drain wasn't as much of an issue. If a battle between Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God were to take place in a setting like the hyperbolic time chamber, for example, or anywhere energy drain could be mitigated, Super Saiyan 3 would have the stamina to make full use of its overwhelming power. In this kind of scenario, the gap between the two forms narrows significantly, and Super Saiyan 3 can fight without its Achilles heel holding it back. Emotion is another critical factor that could tip the scales in favor of Super Saiyan 3. Saiyan transformations have always been tied to emotional triggers, with moments of desperation, rage, or sheer determination unlocking hidden reserves of power. Gohan's Super Saiyan 2 transformation against Cell is a classic example of this, and Goku himself has demonstrated the ability to push past limits in critical moments. If a Super Saiyan 3 user found themselves in a similar emotionally charged scenario, such as defending a loved one or fighting to prevent catastrophic loss, they might, keyword might, be able to temporarily overcome the stamina issue and unleash a final devastating attack with everything they have left, but it would have to work because they would be spent. Such moments have happened time and time again in Dragon Ball, and they often defy traditional power scaling in favor of sheer narrative weight. Another important scenario to consider is if the Super Saiyan God user is inexperienced with the transformation, while Super Saiyan God is immensely powerful, it's also very difficult to master. When Goku first unlocked Super Saiyan God in Battle of Gods against Beerus, he was still learning how to properly wield its divine energy. An inexperienced Super Saiyan God user might struggle with energy control, timing, and maximizing the form's potential. In contrast, an experienced Super Saiyan 3 fighter like Goku or Vegeta, who has already mastered their transformation, could exploit these gaps in combat efficiency. This scenario creates an opening where Super Saiyan 3's brute force and aggressive combat style could overwhelm an unrefined Super Saiyan God user. However, it's worth noting that Super Saiyan God's potential ceiling still far exceeds Super Saiyan 3, and mastery would close this gap over time. So to close out here, imagine a battle between Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Just, to give it to Vegeta for a moment here. In the other world, a setting where stamina drain is no longer a concern. Goku in Super Saiyan 3 immediately unleashes a barrage of fully powered attacks, combining devastating physical strikes with high output energy blasts like the Super Kamehameha. If Vegeta and Super Saiyan God can avoid these initial attacks and weather the storm, the battle will shift in his favor. But if Goku manages to land one decisive Dragon Fist or a well-placed energy blast, Super Saiyan 3 might claim victory in that instant. The window of opportunity for Super Saiyan 3 is razor thin, but it exists. So ultimately, yeah, Super Saiyan 3 can win against Super Saiyan God, but it's like, Dumb and Dumber, a 1 in a million shot, or maybe even 1 in a billion. And only under very specific conditions. Like Gohan, Pan, Chi-Chi, Krillin would all have to be pretty much tied up and about to be destroyed, about to be blown up by Frieza for Goku to maybe beat him. Assuming Frieza is a Super Saiyan God. Well, I guess I should have used a Saiyan for that example. So the fight has to go very quickly or take place in an environment where energy depletion isn't a concern, or include an emotional surge that pushes Super Saiyan 3 past its usual limits. Additionally, if the Super Saiyan God user is inexperienced or overconfident, and I'm taking a page out of Darth Maul's book here, Super Saiyan 3 could exploit those gaps to secure victory. However, in a traditional, I'd say 9.5 out of 10 fight, Super Saiyan God is going to win all the time. This does beg the question, though. Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 seemed a lot more composed and powerful than Goku's, even in a kid form in Dragon Ball Daima. So, anyways, at the end of the day, Super Saiyan 3 represents the peak of mortal Saiyan strength, while Super Saiyan God transcends mortal limits entirely through divine power. And yet, the beauty of Dragon Ball lies in its unpredictability. Power levels aren't always the deciding factor. Strategy, emotion, circumstance, and everything else that I mentioned before kind of lies in the victor. So what do you guys think? Is there a scenario that I didn't mention where Super Saiyan 3 could claim victory over Super Saiyan God? Will we eventually see Super Saiyan 4, my favorite form from GT, but in Daima or maybe in the next manga continuation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really having fun making videos here on this channel, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the next one. Leave a like on your way out as you scan the comments, and I'll see you soon.